Una Ivana Tits. Can you bring that up again?
It's a real name.
It is. It's Una Ivana Tits. There's a playbook here. Here's what happens. We saw with Donald Trump, and you see this happening in Germany. Okay, global leftists, right? This is what they do. They screw up their country with terrible policies, far left policies. Then they watch an opposition party rise to power. And then, rather than address the actual problems, they try to ban their opponents, bury their opponents. They try to attack and exterminate them through character assassination.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to years of horrible policy.
Again.
Especially, and just to be clear, by the way, the media is saying far right, right? It's Germany's far right alternative for Germany, AfD. Is sort of the abbreviation there. I'm surprised I put the F in there.
The F,
right?
Yeah,
yes.
in there.
Yeah. It's alternative for Germany, and they put the F. Would you just be like AD?
Well, just be careful. Like, we're not supporting some accidental Nazi.
No, here's the beauty of it.
Right?
No. Not the beauty of it, but there's still the Nazi Party in Germany.
Oh, so they still have that?
Yes, these are not them.
These are not them.
These are not them. These people don't like them.
But how do we know that?
Yeah,
Did
well, you know
look
it
into
because yes, we did look.
I just want to make sure.
I mean, I'm sure they might have an individual racist who's like sometime Nazi, but I'm saying that there is still
in traffic.
The Nazi Party.
Okay.
These are not this is not the Nazi Party, but thanks to years of terrible policy, especially on immigration in Germany right now, the alternative for Germany that they are calling the far right is on the rise.
Germany's far right is having a great summer. Support for the alternative for Germany is higher than ever before in their 10-year history. In the eastern state of Thuringia, 1 voter in 3 now backs the AfD. In June, for the first time, the party won executive power. It was only a local government official, yet the AfD is jubilant. But the AfD is not just another political party. Its members include many far-right extremists. And it is under observation by the intelligence services for allegedly undermining democracy. So what explains the success?
There you go.
The established parties do a terrible job. And they are getting from bad to worse by the day, by the hour.
Someone made their way up from Sicily.
They want to force people into a central planning attitude, and that's exaggerated, and more people react to it.
Now, to be in the spirit of full disclosure, some people do think this is all a conspiracy to just promote Germany's new wonder park, Westworld. So that does. It's just. I just want to be clear. I don't give it credence, but it's possible. Now, as it relates to Germany banning opposition parties, who, by the way, the second most popular party in Germany right now, polling at 21%. I know you're saying, how does that happen, only 21%? Well, but you don't necessarily understand that this is why we have a two-party system. You can have someone in Canada, for example, in the parliamentary system, we have elected with 30% of the vote because it's so fractured.
Yeah.
I do have my reservations, though, about Germany being allowed to really even be a country at all. I think our late friend Norm Macdonald warned us about this most effectively.
The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but in the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world.
So, and now the leftist coalition, the German government, they want to completely ban this party. So Germany's spy agency, it's Bundesgrunddienst, can you move it a little more towards me? Bundesnachrichtendienst Dienststitz Pool whatever, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's my
Nailed
cousin.
it.
Yes. That's my name too.
I knew it. I told you they were going to be in there.
Now, so the German spy agency, they warned the German people against voting for the AfD. The German spy agency. They also, by the way, named the youth wing, the Young Alternative, as an extremist group. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about the people in power in Germany. People in power in Germany, we know how they historically have dealt with those they don't like.
Du, aufstehen! Hoch! Werft ihn raus!
It's a parliamentary procedure you wouldn't understand.
I didn't like Grandpa anyway.
Politics are foreign to us in the United States. We don't know. We don't wear the wigs and stuff like that.
Gosh. What?
But what?
Sorry.
Well, by the way, speaking about the AFD's rise, the researcher Una Ivana Tits. Can you bring that up again?
It's a real name.
It is. It's Una Ivana Tits.
I think it's pronounced boobs.
This is thank you, Kimberly.
Are we being played right now?
No, this is her actual name, Una Ivana Tits. You can go check out all of the references are available at loudwithcrowder.com. We always make them available. Just so this is from Euronews. It says right now they're garnering a lot of support. Right now they're garnering a lot of support on Telegram because they're rallying their supporters and they're painting themselves as a persecuted party within an unjust system which they're fighting from within. So that's Una Ivana Tits.
Ivana Tits.
Yeah, I know. I don't like Una. Like Ivana Dose Tits.
Your boobs are huge.
Sometimes Trace if I'm watching Total Recall.
I like the one.
So just to be clear, you ask, are they Nazis? This is what this party advocates for, okay? Giving the government in Germany some checks and balances, just like in the United States.
Sounds
limiting
good.
the power of the EU over member states and restricting, namely, Islamic immigration into Germany. And I know you're going to say, well, hold on, that part I don't like, the Islamic immigration. Well, hold on a second. Again, try and see things from, their, try and walk a mile in their lederhosen. Why would Germans support a party with a hard line on immigration?
An internal federal police report described scenes of crying women fleeing sexual molestation from crowds of men, passers-by trying to rescue young girls from being raped, and groups of intoxicated men throwing bottles and fireworks at a police force no longer in control of the situation.
Here in Germany, a suspect is in custody after a mass stabbing. 3 people died from their wounds and at least 5 others were seriously injured. Police say they're investigating a possible Islamist terror motive. Witnesses said the man shouted the Islamic phrase Allahu Akbar. The attack took place in the southern state of Bavaria, in a plaza in the centre of the city of Würzburg. Pedestrians tried to stop the attacker and may have prevented more bloodshed.
The knife man struck in the historic centre of Würzburg, which was crowded with shoppers on a sunny afternoon. Authorities say the attacker was a 24-year-old.
That's the most boring news report. How do you make a report about a stabbing that boring?
Yeah, well, that's exciting.
Now, so you got to give them a little bit of credit. They are kind of veering away from
No, it was
stabbing. No, that's what I'm saying. But they're going towards a little bit more of a calm, collected kind of way of talking to people.
Yes, the man was repeatedly stabbed, requesting that he not be that.
They could have made it so much more exciting, It's a mass stabbing. They're like, oh, he's running around. He gets one. Eins, zwei, drei.
Then try to push him down some ice.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, his demands to not be stabbed were heard in vain.
Back to you, Bill.
Because he was stabbed. Was clear about that. They don't sound German.
No.
So, by the way, the German president, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, said about the AfD, we all have it in our hands to put those who despise our democracy in their place. That's what he says.
Boy.
So this is what they always do. Donald Trump despises democracy.
Yep.
People who don't believe in mass Islamic migration despise democracy. People who don't lock themselves down, quarantine, and support vaccine mRNA injection mandates. And by the way, quarantine camps in Australia. You must hate democracy. You must hate our... It's not. It's not our way of life in America. And enough people in Germany are saying this isn't supposed to be our way of life. That being said, I don't take any sides here because I don't think they should be allowed to be a country anymore.
I think after you try to, fight the world twice, Norm actually goes on and says they did it again.
Then they did it again. They decided to start a war again the second time. Again, their opponent... the world. You think it's you think they didn't win because they're going to... No, it's actually close.
It is crazy that they were still allowed to be a country.
Exactly.
And I was like, look, we're going to divide you up and give you to other people.
They took someone else's country and sent the Jews there.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And they were like, oh, you guys can keep Germany. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't... It's like... No.
It's just... Yeah.
There should have been a discussion where it's like, well, we think we deserve a seat at the table. No, you don't. You clearly don't.
You get nothing.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And it's not like I stole your everlasting gobstopper. Shut up. I killed a lot of Jews.
We'll talk in 100 years. You guys calm down.
Yeah.
You lose.
So the issue now...
You get nothing.
Now I'm picturing Gene Wilder as a Gestapo.
Yeah.
Yes? Oh, these cheap suits. That's it with these cheap suits.
Hugo Boss for me.
Yes.
I think that's a new sketch idea. Gene Wilder as an SS officer.
Billy Wonka.
Gene Wilder as the main guy from Inglourious Bastards. The main investigator.
Not bad.
So there you go. This is the same playbook everywhere. They did it in Canada, where I was raised.
Yeah.
They've done it with Donald Trump. And this is why I say it doesn't matter who you have. It doesn't matter if it's DeSantis. It doesn't matter if it could be Christie. The point is, they're going to label any Republican, any conservative. They're always going, this is their play. You are an enemy of the state. In Germany, they're going to, there's the Nazi party in Germany. By the way, Nationalist Socialists, just to be clear, people don't fully understand. Point me to one policy that would actually be considered conservative when you say right wing of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear about that. But that exists there. It exists in that country. It's kind of the birthplace of the Nazis, if I may, in Germany.
You may.
And
Austria, Germany,
they're trying to
around the area.
These people, Nazis. Why? Well, because they want to ban them.
Yeah. Well, it starts like this. You start labeling these other groups, right? And you're like, oh, well, like you said, it happens in the United States. Yes, we had President Biden say that MAGA was this threat to democracy, the threat to the country, so much so that they need to make sure that they stack the Supreme Court so that they can get anything they want passed through. That's an idea that people are like, yes, of course. Why wouldn't we put 7 more justices or whatever the number is to make sure that we never lose anything again? And then they come after you with the school board stuff saying, oh, these white supremacists go to these school board meetings, and I can't believe it. And you get the DOJ. You guys look at this and you don't study history and understand what Hitler did was the exact same thing. Now, he went further, obviously. His step that was a little bit further, he goes, all these people that we've said are against our country, I killed them.
Yeah.
He literally did this when he took power.
He
and he
othered
said,
people.
I did it so that I could save the country. I took this horrible strain on my body to kill these people and to live with that idea that I killed these opposition leaders to save our country. That's what he did. So I don't know that we have a leader willing to go that far, but you never set the table. You don't allow the table to be set so somebody can take that final step and go, you know what? You've been set up as the enemy. I'm going to kill you, and everybody's going to think I'm the good guy for doing it.
Yeah.
I'll be the hero.
Exactly. Yeah, and people try and make it about race. It's not about race.
No.
Obviously, he hated, but the Jews were a scapegoat, and he was deeply anti-Semitic, personally, of course. But they started with the idea of communicable diseases, right? For the greater good. We have to get rid of them for the greater good. Now, I understand everyone in this country is looking to try and work on behalf of the greater good. At least that's the platform, right? Whether they're Democrats or Republicans. Of course, obviously, they have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But if someone is saying, yeah, the greater good involves more freedom, that tends to be how you know that they're not going the direction of Hitler. If they say, yeah, well, the greater good is lower taxes, being more business friendly, more freedom of choice. Oh, and by the way, we're not going to allow abortion up until and including birth. Generally speaking, those aren't the black hats. But again, that's just me, Mr. Old-Fashioned.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.